Yeah, like that. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. So, welcome back, everybody.
I was gonna say one of us should make Johnny Bravo as a character, but I already did that. His name's Gregor, so never mind, I guess.
So, the events of Party 3. Uh, 1 year after the events of Party 3, there was
A wedding.
a wedding. Yes. Simultaneously, while that was happening, something else was happening.
Everyone died.
Off to the east, on the shores of Flint Beach, arrived many ships. The ships bore the symbol of the Mandela Academy, a symbol that the people of Hemlock had not seen since the Great Mud Ocean lost that title. As they arrived, many forces marched off the ships. People looked on in awe and worry as the people of the Mandela School had not been seen in many years. Nor had they been ever nor did they realize they had numbers like this. But they marched, refusing to answer questions, refusing to stop, and they arrived in Tarrant and entered the city. No one knows exactly what was said, but what we do know is that shortly after the Mandela forces arrived at Tarrant, Tarrant sent out several envoys to many cities, to Larimer, to Regent Springs, to Emberwell, and to Tenzis. No one knows what the envoys said or what they did, but a few months later, after this event, Tenzis made waves, shook the country to its core with news that it was abandoning the Confederacy, and it was joining up with Tarrant, Larimer, and Regent Springs to form a new group of cities known as the League.
Oh, okay.
The League of Super.
Things were tense, but many believed that this new normal could resolve in some sort of relations, perhaps even some peace amongst all the cities. As now, Terrance's anxieties over the idea of a confederacy surrounding it surely would be lessened by having its own league that it's a part of. But tensions continued to rise. You see, it first began when workers from Tenzis and Regents went to construct a road that led directly from Regents to Tenzis, to further establish and back up their new relationship. However, helping out with this new road were workers from Tarrant, and to get to the work site, Tarrant citizens had been violating Custer's borders, arguing, of course, that the quickest and safest path to that work site was through Custer's land. And since they're not military units, it must be fine, surely, even if the relations between Custer and Tarrant had always been fraught at best. Tensions rose and rose, and eventually, along the Custer Regents Road, fights broke out. No one really knew who fired the first shots, but what happened was casualties for both Custer forces and Tarrant Regents and Tenzis forces, and much of the Custer Regents Road was destroyed, along with all of the safety measures, its guards, its lining, its anything it had. And along with the road, so the road disappeared along with any formal relations Custer and Regents had remaining with each other.
Hmm.
Custer, in the aftermath of the event, blamed Tarrant agitators for stoking violence within Custer's borders, as they had been crossing through Custer land, just outside the walls of the city. Tarrant blamed Custer, saying that it was peaceful work. They were just workers. Why did it have to be an issue? They argued they had their spats, but no greater violence happened. 2 years passed after the formation of the League. And that's when the real trouble started. You see, the Tenzis sinkhole had long been a archaeological dig site for many workers from many cities. When Tenzis joined the Confederacy, it declared the sinkhole shared Confederate land. But Tenzis decided, 2 years into the League's existence, that its former Confederate allies, Osprey and Marion, were to remove its people from the sinkhole, as Tenzis believes it should finish all the archaeological research and mining there itself, with support from its new allies in Larimer. Osprey and Marion argued that when Tenzis joined the Confederacy, well, they made the treaties made it Confederate land. Just because you've left doesn't mean you get to renege on those treaties with no negotiation. And Tenzis refused to negotiate.
Wow, it's like Brexit.
There was a long standoff, with neither side budging, refusing to move, but neither side willing to be the aggressors.
Tenza shouldn't have sent Joris Bonson to debate.
But then Larimer forces arrived, and seeing that Osprey and Marion's workers were still there, opened fire. They drove them out. In response to this incident, Marion forbade access to the vast resources and mines of Morricone Springs from not only Tenzis, but any League city, marshaling its forces to drive all workforces with ties to those cities out of the area the morning it made that decision, with no time to gather their bearings. They left. They had to leave immediately, and only take what they could carry with them back to their home cities, leaving the vast riches untouched, even the ones they had worked their blood, sweat, and tears to uncover. Tensions rose between Marion and Tenzis, and Marion and Tarrant, as well as, well, Marion and pretty much all the League cities. And while this was happening, while this was happening, people were getting nervous about the escalating tensions. But diplomats were working tirelessly to try and come to some sort of understanding between these two new, nations, for lack of a better word. And there was almost hope that violence, outright war, could be avoided. But then shots were exchanged around the Giant's monastery, interrupting a 5-year ceasefire, and no one knows who fired the first shot. And then, all bets were off. Custer officially declared war on Tarrant. Tarrant declared war on Custer, and then on Marion for forcing their workers out of Morricone Springs. And with that declaration, also decided to openly accuse Marion of engaging in slavery, which was outlawed in both the Confederate treaties and the League treaties. Marion declared war on Tarrant in response. Tenzis then declared war on Marion, and soon the League and the Confederacy as a whole were all at war with each other. Emberwell, the only city left not involved in either group, officially maintains neutrality, but companies within the city who can do whatever they want, they're not beholden to government. They are known to sell arms to both sides. The war has been underway the war started then and was underway through all of summer and autumn. Now, the new year arrives. It is 3004 of the 11th age. No end to this war is in sight. No resolution, no path to resolution understood. Many of the used paths for adventurers and regular traveling citizens are now fraught with destruction and the sounds of nearby fighting. Battles are known to erupt nearly anywhere, and seemingly from nothing, than the Bronze Plains, and often non-participants are caught in the crossfire, and both sides have their field medics and in-city military hospitals stretched thin. In the wake of all this violence, altruistic groups of citizens around Hemlock have set up triages around the country, taken the overflow of wounded. And it is at one of these that we find strangers set for an important encounter with each other. So, you are all at a recently set up triage. A bunch of tents, voluntary doctors, all attempting to care for the wounded and the sick that can't be cared for by field medics or city hospitals. It is, let's say, on the border of the Bronze Plains and the Tidal Desert, right around here. Let me mark that for you.
We are very far north.
Compared to where we were all of last session. It's funny how Party 3 started in fucking Emberwell and then just plunged southward.
Maybe we'll do this time again.
There's your tag.
Where is our...
right here.
Right there?
Yes.
That little shit. So,
and there's just a bunch of tents set up. The sound of the dead and the dying surround the encampment, and in the distance there are intermittent sounds of gunfire and explosions. It is here you are all. It is here we find you three. So let's go around the characters and ask what you're doing at this place. They're low on supplies. They're low on doctors. They have virtually no guards. They're just hoping that they can stay low profile enough that people don't, that low profile enough and not valuable enough that no one from any of the armies will go out of their way to mess with them. So let's start with Azora. Why are you here?
I think Azora wandered here really recently. She's probably just been sort of walking northwards. Is the fighting, the battle, and all that going on, is that happening north of us or south of us?
West.
West. Okay, yeah. Well, so yeah, she was essentially walking up from, the south and, got here within the past 30 minutes to an hour or so.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
So she'd just been traveling and just saw this place and decided to pop in?
Yeah, basically.
So the triages and also count, the pop-up triages, by the way, also function as a rest stop for any individual adventurers and travelers who obviously can't find their way to traditional settlements or cities right now, because another aspect of this new war world they find the new war-torn state the Hemlock finds itself in is near enough all of the cities have instituted an entrance fee. So to get into the city, to get into any of the cities, you need to pay a fee and then be searched.
Well, there you go. Azora has not a coin on her right now. But no, yeah, so it's not like, Azora in general is like super like, oh, I gotta get in a city,
right.
But basically goes around the camp immediately looking for something to help, like if, people need to be lifted up or anything.
Yeah.
Strong, and
Gotcha.
she just immediately sort of silently starts helping with that. anywhere she can find to help.
Aegis, what are you doing here?
So, Aegis is traveling. I'm gonna say we can kind of interrupt this or change this, but Aegis was on a job. He was moving someone. I'm gonna say towards Marion. He was helping someone who wanted to travel to Marion. The guy is one of a rather weak constitution. He's been walking south for the last several days. He stopped in Yuma. That's where he met Aegis, and he needed a bodyguard for the last leg of his journey. And he is heading there. He's walked non-stop and basically collapsed. Aegis had to carry him what distance he could to get him here. And now Aegis is basically busying himself by looking westwards, essentially. Keeping an eye on the battle, thinking, how am I going to avoid this? We should have stuck to the road, but he insisted we go off the road, and Aegis isn't entirely certain why. He is not in a very good state. The guy was sickly to start with and then ran himself into the ground. And yeah, Aegis is basically stuck here until he can move, or until something else might happen to him.
Also, just Azora, in addition, mostly does heavy lifting and whatnot they need, but she does also know very basic first aid, and repair stuff like that, and just helping anywhere she can.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Axe, what are you doing here?
Well, okay. So, Axe.
Oh
boy.
Axe. Boy, here we go.
Stop interrupting me, Em. What are you... So, Axe takes off his mask, and it turns out he's O'Malley.
Oh, no.
Gotcha.
Oh my god, that's who I was escorting.
It's 3 O'Malleys stacked on top of each other.
O'Malley cloned him. He found that coat that... oh, what's his name? No, okay.
I can just imagine him taking off the helmet, O'Malley winking to the camera and saying, "You thought you could axe me?"
Oh no, I just
realized O'Malley really should have used his multi-class moves to take the move from Heather's space where she could just duplicate herself. Imagine there were just suddenly 2 O'Malleys.
Oh no, but okay. So, Axe then.
Yep.
No, but okay. So the reason Axe is actually here right now is he's usually just wandering in the wilderness and stuff like that. He doesn't try to interact with civilization all that much, but he does it now because, well, he doesn't want to go completely insane out in the wilderness alone, and also, he's still a good guy and he's willing to help people here.
Okay.
He doesn't really ask for anything other than the basics needs. Just give me a place to sleep and I can help you.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Help you carry everything and so on.
Gotcha. So, a new feature of this campaign. It'll be for this campaign I've come up with. Since there is a war going on, there are known hotspots of battle, of fighting that will shift from time to time. And right now, with the latest information you have on what's going on in the war, these are the hotspots currently.
Oh,
Everything encircled in red.
Even giant monastery? I can't believe it.
So yeah, you can take a look around the map, see where all the red circles are.
I mean, Neo.
Sweet, it was that's where the fighting really, really got hot.
That's true. But also, Neo, I'm just saying, this color here, around here, oh man, this is kind of like a red.
Well, it's all around the Bronze Plains.
I can't believe that my circle now is red. I can just here's all
Wow.
the
Those are
lights
nukes
happening.
going off.
So, basically, these are all on the GM layer. They will move around You can request to see them, provided you can get an in-game reason to have an update on the battle spots.
Well, Axe is actually just checking his phone.
But right now, this is what you know they are. So you're
no.
you're recognizing them? You taking them in?
Oh, okay, yeah,
Committing
okay.
them
We're
to memory?
we're memorizing these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
In
this
the Emerald
worse?
Forest, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think so.
Yeah, commit it to memory. If one of you fucking screenshotted it and are going to use it, you know.
That's a good idea, but I don't have Yago
I
on
mean,
my...
you're gonna have to justify to me in game why your character can screenshot things.
No,
I have
Azora
not.
The thing is, Azora actually does
I won't
have a
save
bad
this
memory for
Yacht
stuff
So
like
tab I
this.
have open. I'll be fair and I'll try and memorize. I'm gonna forget in like 5 seconds flat because I have a memory of a goldfish.
Let's
You
name
know
it.
what? It's actually gonna be... I'm gonna, like, in general, not look unless Azora is being shown something, because, like, she's gonna have trouble with remembering geography.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, what is Sweet doing?
Is Leon dead?
What is-
Has Leon died in the course of war?
Leon's in Grimwood, remember?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if Azora can make it over from Grimwood, he can find his way back and go, oof, be careful what you wish for.
I was gonna say, like, Leon left for Grimwood, then, like, months later, the incident happened with Azora. Like, he was in the country at the time.
Wow, you're gonna hold him personally responsible somehow for not stopping it.
So, wait, Neo, I have a question. How many years was it again since Party 3?
3. And a
Yes.
bit.
I'm just imagining you, just Leon just getting off a boat and just stepping on Hemlock and just mouthing to himself, fuck. Sees that the war is going on, it's like, for fuck's sake.
I'll leave for 5 minutes.
Now, I'm not saying that Leon was one of the mercenaries who raided the Alligari household, but I'm just saying I can't say for certain that he wasn't.
Neo, how do you feel about this Somali?
No, he's not.
Oh,
Yeah, he's in
thinks
Custer.
lonely
He's
to
in
army.
he's in one of the cities most affected by conflict.
Meanwhile, Thistlewick underwater just like looks up, sunglasses back on.
I think one of my favorite. I was gonna ask about Thistlewick because Thistlewick is right next to Yuma. And did you say Yuma is one in the league or are they out of the league?
Yuma's in the Confederacy.
They're still
Yeah.
in Confederacy. Okay, so
Yeah.
so all right, so Thistlewick doesn't have enemies on his doorstep essentially.
Yeah. So, neutral, Emberwell, League, Larimer, Regent, Tarrant, Tenzis. Confederacy,
Surely
Custer,
Wetwood Coven is neutral.
Yuma, Custer. Oh yeah, Wetwood Coven is neutral as well, but Wetwood Coven basically doesn't
Is
exist as
Wetwood
a city.
Covenant even still around?
Yeah,
That's
Wetwood Coven's very unique.
I mean, that
Wetwood
was the
Coven's kind
place,
of its own.
of
Yeah,
Valley
neutral,
Fuck
Emberwell and Wetwood. League, Larimer, Tenzis, Tarrant, Regents. And
Question, Neo.
Confederacy, Terrebonne, Seneca, Custer, Yuma.
I have a question, Neo.
And what about Marion and Osprey?
And Marion and Osprey. They're also Confederacy.
I have a question, Neo. Will you write this down?
Right,
feel...
what?
I doubt he doesn't have it written down.
Oh, I meant like so we can access, so we just a quick handout.
And also, New Road.
So this is interesting. Like, obviously, we're out of touch with, but Terrebonne, is pretty like isolated from everything. Like it's pretty relatively locked off from like. There's just very hostile territory protecting it from,
Yeah, they're protected by their location from much of the conflict, but they're still expected to chip in and out of obligation. They do at times.
Here's my theory for what Terrebonne's going to do, and that is Terrebonne is going to destroy itself, basically. And I'm not even just saying that from a cynical. I've got game theory facts to back up my process, which is essentially that Terrebonne on the one hand is ran by the mob, which has a mayor in place, and on the other hand it's ran by the king, who has the army and whatever fucking resource Terrebonne. And essentially they're just gonna be circling a drain of, we got a chip in the war, and mob going, I guess, but we got...
It's worth pointing out, Murray can just, like, carpet bomb an entire... Or... Ariana. That restaurant business really took off. No, Ariana can just, like, essentially carpet bomb an entire battlefield. She can, like, you know, just 2d8 ignore armor fire damage to, like, an entire army at once.
Well, and it's gonna make if there's ever a siege of Terrebonne, they're gonna have trouble.
Yeah.
Neo, I have an important question, Neo. Is fucking Lydia and her fucking necrophiliac husband still, like, mayor of town?
Huh?
It hasn't even been 3 years. That's not even one term.
We don't know what a Terrebonne term is.
Yeah, well,
I feel like Terrebonne's the kind of town where it's like you have a 6-month term. That's
no. I did establish what we were setting up term limits to be.
Oh.
Term limits are, we're gonna just not bring up re-election or term limits until people start bringing it up, and then whenever that happens is, I guess that's what the term limit is now. Like, we're just gonna try and, like, eke it out as long as we can without mentioning re-elections until people get impatient about it.
Why do I have a feeling that O'Malley's gonna fucking try and run for mayor?
Mayor of Custer? Like, O'Malley went to Custer.
Terrible.
I didn't think it was Custer. I thought it was, like, some other village.
No, I think it was Custer.
He did go back. No, that's right. Never mind. You're right. He did go back to Custer to Lone Shark. See, like the thing is, though, with our mob, that we had some ties to the organization of Marion, but we're all, you know, Confederacy anyways, so...
Yeah, we didn't... There's no problems there, I mean, besides just travel pay.
Other than, in addition to Terrebonne as a city being, like, asked for help in the war, you know...
There's
like,
also the main conflict zone is in the middle.
Well, yeah, but I was gonna say, Nightshade, Marion's a pretty bit... It's not quite Custer, but it's still, you know, a real hotspot for the war. And, like, I could see Nightshade requesting help from us.
Oh, I'm still got Taz selected. Yeah. I would have gotten some stern words if I was posting as Taz.
Also, Neil, why can't O'Malley be loaning out money to armies?
Okay, here we are. There's your...
Oh, thank you.
There are your cities.
Is Wetwood even still around after O'Malley went through it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I'm thrown by, like, my biggest experience with Kansas was getting my ass kicked by Bradley. Now it's like, now they're in the league. I don't know, maybe I'm in the wrong issue. Maybe
the League of Extraordinary City-States.
Maybe I'm in the wrong for thinking the League are the bad guys, but, you know...
Yeah, I can't believe that they're, like... Well, no, I mean, forget Tarrant. The League has fucking, Larimer. Larimer's, like, real, like, fucked up shit.
Well, we haven't even been into Larimer. We've passed by it each time.
You just know what you've been told.
Yeah, I know what I've been told, and that is I introduced Slushy's backstory. Remember her, the slime, where there was, like, genocide?
Oh, wow.
Where Neo said the one city he could see doing that was Larimer. So, I mean,
there's the implication. So, it's just a giant Nazi science base. In city form. We enter there and it's the fucking town from Pathologic, but worse. Oh, I'm thinking, so okay.
Oh,
but,
man.
I mean, essentially my rationale for the League has to be the bad guys is they're with the fucking school, the Mandala school, and that ain't... Those guys are sketchy. Not that Aegis knows that or has any personal stakes in the fucking Mandala school whatsoever.
My best friend Thistlewick told me that.
Like the
my
only I think I haven't got a full list of NPCs from the Summer Swords yet. The only one I've got, so Sammy exists. Sammy I just think is a spear woman, but I don't have much. And Calford I just have big heroic guy, and he's a Tanzus man. So fucking he's on the League side in the war. Okay.
Snake, I can't believe that you made bad guys. Snake,
Murray liked Tensis. But now they're on opposite sides of the wall. I was gonna say, this is gonna be bad for Murray's business.
Hey now, these are like the old characters. We're new.
Yeah.
Taz is unaffected, he fled, and Thistlewick's like, oh, this is coming to a head now, is it? So,
Right, so with that in mind,
Oh wow, Bella's probably like fighting in the war.
so with that in mind, you all hear one of the doctors, a human woman, barge out of a tent, frustrated and angry, and immediately just kicks the nearest, just kicks the nearest structure.
Person.
No, she just kicks the nearest structure, which was a tent covering their covering the oxen they had. So she just kicks that tent and kicks it so hard that the tarp falls down over the oxen, and the oxen start whining. And she yells at them to shut up.
Imagine you see a doctor run out of a medical tent, run up and just drop kick someone passing by.
That's just creating business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People rush over to her, try to calm her down.
That's a good morally neutral character, a doctor who injures people to give themselves business.
Yeah. So people rush over to her, ask her what happened, try to calm her down, and she just screams, "What's the fucking point? We keep losing them. They weren't even that bad. They weren't. It's just some slash wounds. One of them was sick, and now they're all just drained. Jesus Christ!" And the lead doctor walks over and asks to see the bodies inside the tent, which, of course, he does. And eventually comes out and with a very concerned look on his face, and says, "We have a predator. We have a predator around here, and we don't have any guards to deal with it."
Yeah, Azora immediately stands, having passively listened, is now much more actively, sort of stands up and starts approaching.
And he just puts his hand in his face and just says, "Maybe we just pack it up, go somewhere else."
Oi.
What is it?
What?
I'm just sat nearby on a crate, and I kind of call up, "Oi,
Huh?
throw a few coin my way, I'll deal with it."
Deal with it. We don't have. We're running low on supplies. Listen, you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I'll find it though.
What?
Deal with it.
No, Azora butts it. What is it?
The doctor sighs and looks at you two and just says, "It seems we have a plague. It seems we have a plague feeder in our midst."
Can I roll in?
Sure.
I'll spout some more.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've heard of that one.
Oh, you know what plague feeders? All right. So plague feeders are plague feeders are plague feeders are people who have decided to engage with the darker magical arts. A lot of people who do that go to necromancy, but these people fuel their magic by draining the life force from people who are sick and dying. And they use that life force to conjure, to fuel their own force, to fuel their own energies, and to conjure plague magic.
So they basically power themselves.
Yeah,
constantly.
they leech off of the sick, the dying, and the wounded. By draining them completely of their life essence and using that to fuel their own power.
Are there any? Do they have any tells that immediately mark them out? That kind of mark them out as plague feeders?
Yes, in the process, they gain in the process of becoming plague feeders. They gain these bright yellow sort of cracks in their face, almost like scars, but glowing yellow and sort of, at times, even eking a sort of yellow pus.
Just gotta look for a guy with a cracked face. Can't be too hard.
So you've been around then?
I've heard tales.
We don't know how many they are. We don't know how... Alright, listen. If you can deal with the problem, if you can show us if you've solved the problem, well... He looks around. We'll see what we can gather for you.
How close?
Works for me.
He looks at you, Azora, and just says, "My guess is somewhere in the desert. Nearby. They have to be somewhere nearby."
Azora just sort of nods, then just sort of turns around and starts walking out the tent. Sort of stretches her shoulders a bit as she walks out.
Aegis just kind of grabs his spear that was like just kind of laying on the box that he was sat on. Starts wandering off.
Oh, actually, so here's how Axe is gonna get into this whole thing. He's actually been just a little bit away, but listening. And before Aegis actually walked too far away, Axe actually puts his axe in front of him and just says, "Dangerous. Me follow."
Yeah.
Oh, good. So we have two characters who can barely talk. Great. No, oh, sorry. I knew we were low charisma. We're like only one character.
I moved it around. Aegis now has a +1 in charisma.
Oh,
That
great.
must be a
So
relative +1 in charisma in that he actually speaks in full sentences.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just does that and then he walks like with you.
Yeah, he just kind of looks at you, just first putting a spear in his face, and then "I protect you." It's like, okay. Aegis just kind of like, Axe, right? All right, I'm Aegis.
Yes.
So as soon as getting out of the tent and surveying the area, like what are the immediate surroundings of the village like, or the village? You know, the triage.
Well, it's very, very flat land. It's very sparse. There's very little vegetation. But obviously to the west, it eventually turns into desert. But to the east, there are, of course, the sounds of war.
I thought it was the other way around.
Oh yeah.
It turns into desert.
Yeah. East. Okay, yeah. I got it mixed up. Yeah, east and west. I got east and west mixed up. But yeah, but in the immediate area, there aren't really any other structures. That's why they chose this place. It was so, out of the way and not near anything strategic that they felt it would be safe to treat people here.
Are there any hills or anything that people could be sort of using for cover in the area? I guess I could discern realities.
Yeah.
Too. Look at that. All right. So looking at the surroundings of the triage, let me open up basic moves. That's a good first sign. That's promising.
Yeah.
1 and 11. Yeah. Nathan rolls a 12, we'll be fine. This is good omens.
All right.
So Axe gonna roll intelligence. No.
What should I be on the lookout for? Looking for where these plague feeders could be hiding.
You should look for places where the soil is weak.
Ah,
You
nice.
know, yeah, and on the ground.
What here is not what it appears to be.
There are a few spots in the immediate area or outside the camp where you can sort of where it looks like someone was digging a hole and then covered it up.
Nice. I already said that, and what here is useful or valuable to me? We'll go with. I feel like that's kind of just the same thing as that, but
Right. See what's useful or valuable. Well,
I could also actually. Would it be better if I just? Could I ask like, what should I be on the lookout for again? I feel like that would be easier to answer.
sure.
It's up to you. It's up
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Just
Might
what's
as well.
easier.
Yeah, sure. Because I think it would be both the same way anyway. Basically, what you should be on the lookout for, and I guess information that's useful or valuable to you, is that could be if you're to the soil that plague feeders have that the plague feeders have interacted with could be carrying plague itself, so should be useful to steer clear of that. Make sure you don't get any of it,
Right.
in any orifices.
Like any eye sockets.
Yeah.
I think that's a valuable tip even for people who have both eyes still.
Yeah.
Just don't rub plague in your eyes and you'll be probably better off. And also, I think Aegis is several steps behind Azora, and he's not really talking to her, he's just essentially shadowing her. Like, he sees her just start looking out over the thing, and I imagine with Axe beside him, he's just kind of like watching, he's kind of more intrigued by just how blunt she was and that she didn't ask for anything.
Yeah. Wait, actually, I think I do. 1 second, let me check something.
Many dogs talking tonight.
I might go check on what Marlo was barking at, but she's
fuck!
stopped. She's
I
been out.
don't have adventuring gear.
Neither do I.
I have. Actually, so just to help you out, Axe actually walks up to.
I was actually gonna say Azora turns around and is almost like, kind of seems to almost didn't realize you guys were there, but not necessarily surprised, just like eyeing you guys over, and then just sort of, she was about to walk towards town, but seeing you two, just shovel.
Axe just pulls one out of his adventuring gear.
Azora just sort of like eyes him over, then nods and takes it, then just stand back.
This is gonna be an interesting talking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Aegis is just eyeing the two people here, and in his brain, the thought does pass, are these too simple?
Azora goes to one of the spots and just sort of says, watch the dirt. And then just starts like, poking at it, digging it up a bit, seeing if like she finds anything under it or anything.
Yeah. It reveals what seems to be a tunnel. A small tunnel.
Yeah, Azora eyes it down a bit.
Aegis grabs like a rock from nearby and kind of tosses it in. To listen as it falls, see how far it goes.
And then
it doesn't go too deep. It probably goes a few feet down and then before rolling to a standstill.
And as it hits the bottom, you just hear, "Ow!"
That hit me in my plague face.
Yeah, it goes a few feet down before rolling to a standstill.
Azora sort of goes back a bit, plants the shovel back in the ground, and starts walking back towards the triage tent, and just tells the other two, be careful. And then just starts walking back towards the tent. It's up to them if they want to follow or not.
Aegis is more waiting than anything. He's kind of
Okay.
scanning around. He's
so
prodding at the
Azora-
ground with his spear and kind of, I mean, following the line of logic he assumes what was going on there.
Yeah.
But
Azor. So back at the camp, though, Azor's gonna go talk to whoever's in charge or anything.
The head doctor, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Do you have fuel?
Fuel?
Lamp fuel, oil, fire, stuff like that.
Yeah. You need it?
Yeah. Much as you can.
Alright. Yeah, he walks over. He goes to he heads to the tent where the people had died, the dead bodies, and he just fishes out the lamps from there and puts them out.
Yeah.
And
Azora just needs basically like a cart of oil or fuel or fire.
wait, a cart?
Yeah, she needs a lot.
Oh.
No, it points at lamp. No, more.
More?
Azora
How much?
wants. Azora just sort of indicates with her hand, roughly I don't know, like a barrel or something. Maybe not a huge barrel, but like a like a drum of oil.
I like to imagine that Aegis and Axe are just stood and they can see Azora bartering with this doctor, and she's just doing the symbol for big. Just a big barrel. And it's just kind of what the hell is going on over there?
All Axe says is, why she want big fish?
I think that I want Aegis to be sociable, but I feel Aegis is out of his depth right now next to Axe.
So yeah, I guess we could do a supply. We're not really doing. Just Azora's basically essentially if he asks about it, just you were gonna pay him for the job, pay me with oil.
Wow, this is coming out of my pay, maybe, kind of in a roundabout way.
If you just did it alone, you could have gotten more money.
He heads over to the oxen, who are still whining at each other, about the tarp.
Please take this off.
And he goes to their to the supplies they were carrying, and he looks around and says, "I've got one oil drum left for the lighting."
Azora, just sort of looks up and points, "Use the sun," and then grabs the drum of oil and starts dragging it back to where they were.
Okay. Nice.
Doesn't really think things through.
I don't think anyone in this party is gonna think.
I mean, would you rather be dying of plague or in the dark?
I think they were hoping on us killing them, and they got to keep their oil drum. They were probably hoping for efficiency and low expenditure.
But so yeah, Azora basically goes back to the hole, and not the whole thing, but starts just pouring some of the oil down the hole. And then just goes to a bunch of the other spots and basically repeats the process and just tries to open the holes and spread oil out as much as she can.
There are 3 holes.
Yeah, 3 holes.
Yeah.
So just divides up the oil equally between them. And I think you can see where she's going with this.
Yeah, no, Aegis is stood back and he's kind of replaced his spear with a javelin. He's keeping an eye on the ground in case any of them get wise to this.
Actually, does what's his name? Axe. Does he have a shield?
No.
Okay. Actually,
doesn't.
Azora gets the idea of using the drum. Just hands the drum to Actually, I take that back. She hands him her shield, and then she takes the drum, and then just basically with matches, here. Drop match in the hole, cover it up, but not all the way. You need to leave some for the air. But get ready with your weapons if anyone tries to escape.
Axe just nods and just does it.
Yeah. so we're gonna set this up for and try and go at roughly the same time. Azora does like a hand signal to drop the match.
Actually. Oh, wait.
Alright, back to the spear then, not the javelin. In case it's like Aegis was gonna hang back and just throw a javelin at anything that might pop out, not, oh, I'm standing in one of these holes too.
Oh, you don't have to stand on the hole. Well, you know, just like
it's 3 holes, 3 of us, so I assume that I would alright, yeah, back to the spear. In poke position, ready to go, as one hat dropping the fucking match in, throwing the shield over. Not all the way.
After Axe done it, he looks at the Azora and just says, "Have we started the fire?"
Can't really say it rises as it's going underground, but you know.
I mean, it is rising from the underground.
Yes.
But so yeah, we're just trying to light up the tunnels as much as we can.
Yep.
Don't know.
So when you do that, the fires erupt from the ground.
So they do rise.
Sort of, dueling, bursting the soil out because they were pretty shallow dug tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of burn. They all sort of burn eastward towards the desert, and eventually converge into one tunnel before continuing to burn into the desert, but then stopping as the oil runs out.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Azora sort of not. Actually, can I retcon something? She also just asks for a doctor's mask too.
All right.
Yeah, when she gets the oil, but then she just nods and then looks around at the other two, gives a sort of thumbs up, then just hops down her hole.
Axe follows. Not into her hole, but in his own hole.
Yeah, I guess,
really?
I guess
that was not Azora's intention, but
you gotta use your words. Yeah. We all drop down different holes.
I was gonna say Azora gives a thumbs up of thanks for that, and then just sets about to the rest of the job, totally not clued in that the others intend to follow.
Axe, you can't fit in your hole.
Don't.
He also has Azora's shield, but she figured that would probably be, a lot more cumbersome. Or how big are these tunnels, actually, I should ask first.
They're pretty constrained. You and Aegis can crawl through without, but there won't be much, wiggle room.
But it's crawling?
Yeah, it's crawling.
Yeah, Azora doesn't grab her shield from Axe.
Actually, wait, can I rewind going in the hole? So we saw where it all led to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Aegis doesn't drop down his hole. He is going to that point above ground.
Where the fire stopped.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He basically, I imagine the shovel was left behind. He takes the shovel and he's kind of heading to that place above ground.
Right.
He's basically walking. He's got one hand on his spear and he's poking the ground in front of him in case any of it will sink under his feet. So he's testing the ground in front of him, got the shovel in the other hand, and he's basically going forwards by himself.
Starts poking from where the fire stopped?
Well, the way I'm describing it, he's walking to where the fire ended, to where it all converged above ground, and he's using the spear in his offhand to prod the ground in front of him, and essentially to make sure he doesn't walk into any sinkholes.
Gotcha.
He's just testing the ground before his feet, and if he comes to a sinkhole, he'll go around.
Yeah, you can easily avoid the sinkholes. Axe, how about you?
Well, since Axe can't get into a hole, terrible day. He will follow the man with the stick.
Gotcha.
So what does Azora see immediately getting down into this burnt-out hole?
It seems to have been pretty recently made. Dug out. It seems to have been dug out, going in the opposite direction you went. Dug as they went, it seems, as you're going through. And after a few minutes of crawling, you eventually get a little bit more wiggle room as the 3 pads converged. And your surroundings become a lot less dirty and a lot more sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Sand.
Less soil, more sand, and you see that it continues in one slightly bigger tunnel going forward. Though it is quite dark now.
It's just
Yeah,
lots
I
of
don't have
sand.
adventuring gear. That's a problem.
So what do you do?
You know what? Azora's actually gonna just sort of hunker down and wait for a bit.
All right.
He's gonna see if anyone comes
entrance.
at where the 3 converge.
All right. And Aegis, how about you?
So I get to the point where the fires converge, and I take the shovel there and I start testing the ground.
Yeah, you can tell it's hollow. You'll hit. You'll be able to. You can tell there's a tunnel underneath.
Okay, so Aegis looks at Axe and says, "Right, big guy. That's what I'm thinking. They're down here. We'll just open her up. Maybe we can take them out from up here. Not have to get near any plague."
Good thinking.
Right, now, you take the shovel, dig it out, and I'll keep an eye.
Fine. Yeah, no, the axe is gonna use his shovel to start digging.
All right, Azora, you see the ground above you begin to shift.
Yeah, Azora, steps back from directly under where it's shifting and crumbling and just sort of watches it along
Alright.
with the tunnel in front of her. Doesn't,
Gotcha.
mind
So-
being both.
Axe, you dig out a hole, and you can see that yes, there is a tunnel under you. What do you do?
In the end, I feel like the start of that Shadowrun session where we just arrived at the same place at different times.
Azora just sort of whistles up, seeing that it's them, just whistles up, and then just sort of snaps her finger, raising a hand. Shield.
Oh yeah, no, he drops the shield to her.
Yeah, Azora catches it and puts it back on her arm. And then just, sniffs and then looks back up. Got a torch? A lantern?
Actually, I should have that in my event. How many times
You
can
do.
you use it?
You
I
have 5.
feel like you're about to make several uses, because Aegis was also about to suggest a rope and a pitten.
No.
So yeah, you've used your adventuring gear once, so you have.
Rope and grappling hook are well, that counts as one item, I feel like, and that's such a staple
Well, it's
of
basically
adventuring gear.
just an idea of let's spike the ground here and have a rope so we can get in and out without having to crawl in and out of that
Yeah.
tunnel.
Actually, Axe takes out his lantern and then he's gonna jump down.
Oh, for crying out loud. I'll be
Wait,
back
you're
in
gonna.
If Aegis just yells down, "You two, don't move, I'll be back in a minute."
Why?
I'm getting a rope.
Why do we need rope?
To get at. Hang on, yeah, just like I said before I started recording, just imagine Aegis not with the accent I'm doing, but with an Eastern European one.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, I'll go get rope.
I don't think that's what Eastern European people sound like.
That's what Russians sound like. I don't know.
Oh, you're saying the Russians are not Eastern European?
You should just get Kurt to come in to voice your character.
Yeah. Anyway, so Aegis walks back to the triage. He just kind of walks up and just starts looking around. They gotta have some rope, just kind of bundle. He does ask one of the docs, "You got mind if I just borrow a rope?"
Sure.
I can't wait for later Axe to inevitably pull rope and grappling hook out of his adventuring gear, meaning it had been there this whole time.
Well, yeah,
Because
but I have to tie it off from the top.
He just the person you walk to just kind of points at the kicked over tarp that had been covering the oxen and just says, "There was rope holding that thing up."
Is
I
there
suppose
still
there
oxen
was.
there complaining?
What?
Are the oxen still there complaining?
Yeah, they're still whining.
Aegis just kind of wrap quickly, like, gets the rope into a thing, throws it over his shoulder, and just jokes, "Consider it part of my payment," and then and then starts heading back to the tunnel.
Let's see, that was oil, rope.
Wow, he's using that same trick